interesting how, in our culture of information overload, truths become hackneyed. Words appropriated and overused until they become cliché. The concept of mindfulness is a good example of a word becoming tired in current overuse, although the notion that peace and healing can occur by living in the moment is ancient.
Well, I would say from the first time you walk into a yoga studio, you realize people are coming there because they are suffering, whether it's physically, spiritually, mentally, and a lot of them have reached a point in their life where they realize that something needs to shift. So walk into a yoga class and you roll out your mat, and the mat becomes an island. You're with a community. However, you learn a lot about yourself. The teacher has what we call a Dharma talk, some type of philosophy. Feel like they're talking to you. And your heart begins to open. And the music, if there's music, it starts playing. And then you start moving in your body. And the whole idea of movement and sound, there's a lot of emotions that get released on that island of yours. And you realize that everybody else is moving in a similar way. And it becomes this dance, like you don't feel alone.
This is the story of a national organization that has taken something seemingly nebulous and built a real platform that is changing the face of healthcare, transforming lives in ways that can be measured with very real and provable outcomes. That organization, Kula for Karma, brings therapeutic yoga, meditation, and stress management programs to those struggling with mental health, trauma, and addiction. They do this in major hospitals, treatment centers, schools, and crisis centers. Kula is part of the solution, committed to changing the stigma around mental health. We take you now to bear witness to the true and lasting impact of mindfulness.
I came to the practice with several years of recovery. I am a recovering drug addict. I had a problem with cocaine. And I came with several years of sobriety and still all kinds of craziness inside my head. There was not even a moment of peace. I would say in that first yoga class, probably for 80 minutes of the 90 minutes, there was a lot of chatter and a lot of chaos and not very much peace. And maybe there was 5 or 10 minutes of, wow. And as I would continue practicing and practicing and practicing, those 10 minutes became 11 minutes and 12 minutes and 15 minutes.
This happens with any class environment. When the students first come in, they're all learning to work with each other, getting to know their teachers, getting to know the staff, and they're a bit uncomfortable, maybe having dealt with other programs or other situations where they're just kind of on edge. And then Kula comes in and we introduce them to the services and we let them know, hey, this is something we all use, including myself, just to manage our stress, especially when the workload is so heavy. But the transition I usually see is they're a lot calmer. I've actually spoken to a graduate recently who said that she uses the techniques that she learned to help with managing her household, and that she can now deal with conflicts a lot easier than she used to in the past because she's more mindful and more self-aware.
Being a young African-American woman in this world is hard, especially being poor, and some of us don't have no outlet, no way of dealing with it, no way of controlling it, and that's where we develop the PTSD and the anxiety and the depression because we don't know what else to do, and it takes a toll on your mind and your body. So when you get introduced to something like Kula for Karma, they give you ways to manage the stress that you're under, and it just opens up a whole new way for you to deal with everyday regular life. When I came here, I was a mess. Today, there's nothing that I don't feel I can take on.
The HOPE program is a workforce development program with a 35-year track record of serving folks who have been struggling to get into the workforce for the first time sometimes, or sometimes struggling to get back into the workforce. And we provide holistic training in classroom-based and on the job to help people get the skills, confidence, network, and support to get them that first job and then to help them build their career. We've been partnering with Kula for Karma for about a year now. Kula for Karma really makes sense for the way we see our program and the way we see the work we do with the people we serve. HOPE is a holistic program, and we really believe in order for people to get a job and be successful in their career, lots of different pieces of their life need to be in place. So when Kula for Karma came to us and offered their services, it felt like a perfect fit. It felt like another piece that we could offer the people going through our program, and many folks will take to it and some will not, but just that exposure and that introduction to how yoga can change the way you feel in life is something great, and that's what we believe in, is offering people the opportunity to experience and try out lots of different things.
I wasn't really open to it, but I think that it's going to help me, because for a person that deals with PTSD, I really wasn't open to sharing that with anybody, but I'm going to say that today, that I think that's going to be something to help me transition with that in the future and be really helpful to me dealing with homelessness. It really took me down a downward spiral, so being here is helping me, deal with that situation, and just being around people that care and it could possibly help you change your life. I think it'll help with that.
I think when you get to the program, you're kind of nervous, anxiety comes into play. So, initially you'll find yourself in resistance. But as you get comfortable with the staff and the training and the things that actually incorporate you to feel the comfortability from, then you emerges the feeling of comfortability among your staffs and your peers. I noticed that it helps you out, it relaxes you, it modifies like the pressure that comes with the work environment. Let me make this practical in my everyday, because everybody comes to work with a different mind state.
After they leave the classroom, they're going to be going to the warehouse. They'll be doing yoga. So we do offer yoga weekly. It's an hour every week. Kula for Karma comes in and they perform yoga services like meditation, breathing and stretching, and just learning about like self-awareness and just being aware and present in the moment.
My dream is to open up a family restaurant. I love to cook. When I came here, I came for a change, and I got so much more than what I came for. I just came to get a different career and just work on my soft skills, and I got Kula for Karma as well. So
we couldn't do what we do, operations, having everything in place, great programs, if we didn't have the heartbeat of our teachers. In the beginning, the yoga teachers had a 200-hour certification, which is what most yoga teachers have. As the years unfolded, we realized that the teachers need to have advanced training in mental health, trauma, and addiction. And so we have created on-ground training.
Well, a Kula teacher has to have interest in working in the therapeutic kind of realms of yoga. The whole idea of what we're doing is to give people some kind of practical tools. You can have a Kula class, it can be a really wide range of people's willingness, comfort level, physical abilities, emotional abilities. So you really have to be intuitive enough to assess what's going on and always give people permission to rest, to ask a question, and be able to teach to different levels, because the goal is to really make people believe, and it is true, that yoga's for everybody. It doesn't matter what your body looks like, where you've been, you're here, and it's now, and this is your yoga class, and it's for you.
So now we have a database of
About 1,000 teachers.
1,000 teachers with advanced training in mental health, trauma, and addiction.
Many of our teachers are, in their own right, professionals. We have a number of teachers who are psychotherapists, have masters in social work, who are physicians, and the experience and the joy and the beauty of giving back, and as Jerry mentioned, seeing transformation happen right in front of you. There is nothing as palpable as being witness to that kind of change. And there is, I think, a ripple effect that happens in and among the students that we're teaching, the kind of connection that they form with the teacher and with each other, and the way they look out for each other and call one another if someone doesn't show up for class a few weeks in a row.
It's amazing. It's really amazing. I got into it because I wanted to do something good for people and help people. And as a yoga teacher in a studio, you do some of that, but there's a really big difference when you really help somebody discover something that can help them when they're struggling, and how cleansing and clearing that can be, and how empowering their own breath can be. And when you make that connection with somebody, it's a really beautiful thing. And I think it also helps me when I go back to my life with my kids and my family, and you're more connected, and it's a check-in to your values,
So I think, having met Jerry and Penny, who are incredible human beings, I think they are very much the embodiment of Kula for Karma. And Kula means community, and I think that what they do is bring that community together each and every day. And that's what seeps through the organisation, through the people that they curate, and it's a beautiful experience.
It's been so exciting to be a part of the evolution and the growth of Kula, and I see my role as kind of the producer, in a sense. Jerry she's a factory for creativity and ideas and vision, and we've discovered how best to work together, and for me to be able to kind of rein her in a little bit and say, this one we can definitely do, this one I don't think so, we're not ready for that, and really kind of sift through it all and figure out what is manageable and doable.
The vision wasn't to go, oh, we're going to go national, and this is what it's going to look like. It was really one foot in front of the other, one program, one person. Sometimes there'll be one person showing up, and we'd look at each other and say, this is a class. This is the person who needs it. And you do have to have a little bit of insanity to keep going, and it doesn't feel like work. And now, as I get older and reaching towards 60, now you start thinking about legacy. Like I can die tomorrow and feel like I've done something, a little something worthwhile.
The ancient truth is, we don't have to suffer in silence. For the visionaries, I am Sam Waterston.